On what's Firestarter is here in the building. World Class Wednesdays, you know what it is, all right? We got a great show coming up for you. A lot of sports talk. All right. I am who I am. You see it down here. Make sure you tune in to World Class Wednesdays every Wednesday at 8 p.m. I got Kings ROG in the building. I got Rocco Raquelli, Dalton Smith, Marcus Betts is in the house joining in, and we are off and a go. All right, make sure you like and share the show. Nevertheless, continue to support. We got to talk about these NBA playoffs first and foremost, or a matter of fact, before we get into the NBA playoffs, I would like my guy from the sports capital of the world to give us a quick run on MLB and NHL. Can we get that, please? Can we get that, sir?
Oh, most definitely. You can definitely get that. With MLB,
right,
man, with MLB, you got an interesting AL East battle. You got Tampa Bay, you got Boston. I mean, those two are battling neck and neck right now, and MLB trade deadline will be interesting with those two. AL Central, Chicago White Sox, 2.5 games up on Cleveland. Expect Chicago to be buyers at the trade deadline. They want to go win that championship. I also saw in the intro that you were wearing a White Sox hat. Very disrespectful, by the way, Andre. I mean, why got to wear a White Sox hat? But moving on. AL West, we got Houston, we got Oakland. There's a fierce battle going on up here. Got the California team, soon to be Las Vegas team with the Athletics. And then you got Houston with the Houston Astros. And man, I hate to say it, and I know people are going to use trash cans when they bring them up, but the Houston Astros are once again the best team in baseball. I mean, they have the best record in the month of June. They've been dominating the AL West, and it's been fun to watch. Moving over to the NL. The NL East, the Mets are doing pretty well. Kings are. I know you know that. I know you know that.
Yeah.
Max Scherzer almost went down to his tighty whities after Joe Girardi was searching him for like the fourth time in the fourth inning for banned substances. So Phillies also blew a 5-0 lead today against the Nationals.
Hold on, I gotta say real quick that you can continue. I think they're getting out of hand. I was just watching Ohtani today, and at the third inning, they went and checked. It's like, dude, it's messing up the flow of the game. I thought they're doing it after the game. They're doing it during the game, early in the game. They had him take off his hat. It was like the third inning. I'm not with all that, but go ahead.
It's Rob Manfred and his genius A+ marketing. The NL Central, you got the Brewers, half a game up on the Cubs. Go Cubs, by the way. And then the NL West, you have a trio. You got the Giants, you got the Dodgers, you got the Padres. I believe the Giants are going to fall off myself personally. So, going to be a fierce battle with the NL West, and that's your MLB update. The NHL update, because you're talking about that. Vegas Golden Knights, they are down 3-2, heading back to Montreal for Game 6. It's going to be tough for the Vegas Golden Knights to win Game 6, but I do believe they can get it done. The money in Las Vegas is going towards them, so hopefully that's a benefactor. And then you've got Tampa Bay Lightning. They're playing the New York Islanders right now, and they're going to be trying to clinch a spot into the Stanley Cup Finals. So hopefully it's Tampa Bay. I'd love Tampa Bay to get there, go back-to-back. We haven't seen that since Pittsburgh, and that's been a while. So that's your NHL update. We've done an MLB update, and we'll go back to the fire starter, Andre Robinson.
Fire starter.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Definitely the MLB NHL recap by my guy, Rocco Raquelli. All right. Phenomenal. He does that so quick and so eloquently. Thank you. Appreciate you. Let's get into the NBA playoffs first and foremost. Let's get into it. I got some things to talk about. We need to talk about the Eastern Conference coming up, playoffs coming up. The Atlanta Hawks, folks, the Atlanta Hawks have hawked their way through the playoffs when nobody believed in Ice Trae. Ice Trae just filled it up and showed everybody his veins one time, averaging 29 points in his playoffs, including 10 assists, plus 10 assists in his playoffs, looking real smooth, real good. And my question to you guys right off the jump is, can they do it again? Can they do it one more time? Can they pull it off one more time? Can they get to the NBA Finals? I'm going to start off with Dalton D-Man Smith. Dalton, can they get it done?
My answer is no. The reason why I said it because I don't trust Georgia team. You never know. I mean, it could be the curse, though. I mean, like, they always choke in the playoffs, so I don't see Georgia makes the finals.
Can I go after D-Man real quick? I want to offer a rebuttal.
Sure. Rocco, what's up? Let's get in
You
here.
talk about Georgia teams choking, but isn't the Milwaukee Bucks in Wisconsin?
Well, yep.
Aren't the Wisconsin teams known for choking in NFC Championship games?
Excuse me. I said Jerome in the house. Watch your mouth, okay?
Hey, I'm just spitting facts, Andre. You can't dispute that. I'm just spitting facts.
Go ahead. You know what? I see you want to start trouble, you Bears fan. But go ahead and let us know why the Atlanta Hawks is going to win or lose.
Personally, I would love to see the Atlanta Hawks in the NBA Finals. Not only would it disrupt what the NBA has wanted, and that's having a top 10 player in the NBA Finals for the 1,000th year in a row, but secondly, the Atlanta Hawks are the definition of a Cinderella story. They are the textbook underdog. I mean, nobody expected the Atlanta Hawks to, beat the New York Knicks. There were so many people saying, the Knicks got this. They're going to be winning this series, no doubt about it. And they won that series. And then you had the Hawks go up against the 76ers. The Sixers got this. Best record in the East, Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons. They got this. And Atlanta keeps on winning. So if there's any team that's the definition of being an underdog, it's the Atlanta Hawks.
What up, Double A? I see you in the house. What's up, man?
What's up, sir? How y'all doing? Blessing to be here.
Pretty good, pretty good. King's Iron. Who you got? Hawks, Bucks.
We talked about this. Yeah, it's a great Cinderella story. Trae Young got his 2 slippers. Unfortunately, this series, he's going to lose one of those slippers at midnight, and Milwaukee will actually win this series in dominating fashion, 4-1. I do see Atlanta getting a game, so they won't get swept. But they've done more than what they should have been done. They're already a couple years ahead of schedule. I see Milwaukee, which paid their dues the last 2 years, with Giannis winning the MVPs and being criticized for not even making a finals. Sometimes in the NBA or in sports, you got to pay your dues, and Milwaukee did it the right way. Giannis stayed. He didn't go to Golden State, what everybody was saying he was going to do. He was an old school player, said, I'm going to win here where I'm from. They made the right trades with Drew Holiday, PJ Tucker pickups, and they will dominate and smash the Atlanta Hawks 4-1.
Marcus Betts.
You're on mute, brother.
You're mute, Marcus.
I can try to lip sync and read your lips. The LL Cool J show.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Fly, folks. Anything can happen.
I'm with you all the way, Czar. Now, every playoffs, we always get some guy that kind of comes onto the scene. And I think this playoffs here is 2 guys that really stepped their game up and really have ascended to that maybe superstardom. That's Devin Booker and Trey White. Unfortunately, I believe in the East. I believe Greek Freak, he's that guy over there. I think he's, you have to pay your dues. You have to pay your dues. Rarely do you just come out and you just win. You usually, even Jordan had to get punched in the mouth a few times by those bad boy Pistons. He got punched in the mouth a few times, just like Greek Freak did against Toronto,
Miami and Toronto.
That's the way it works. That's the way it works. So it's a great story. I think they'll put up, a fight, but I don't see anybody that they have over there that can deal with Greek Freak. So no, I don't think. And have a little rebuttal with Rocco over there. Green Bay is called Titletown. It's called Titletown. The trophy's named after the coach of the Packers. So I know you being a Bears fan, you have to throw a little hook shot in there, but just to let you know, it's Titletown. And I'm not even a Packers fan. So remember that you watch your mouth, stop being disrespectful to that green and gold up there.
Hey, you used to call it Titletown, but I'm gonna call it what it is. It's called Choketown. When Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback,
let me tell you something. We're just talking Super Bowl. Now you're just talking Super Bowls. All right. These guys got as far as championships, they got 15 or 16 championships. Don't forget that. We just started the Super Bowl the past 50 years, but they were winning all of them. When there was only a few teams, they were winning all of that. So again, Titletown. You can call it whatever you want. Them boys.
Okay. To bring a hockey comparison, is the Toronto Maple Leafs considered Titletown? I mean, they won all those championships when there was only 6 teams in hockey. But go ahead.
Okay, well they have won Super Bowls in the Super Bowl era. They just had. And speaking of choking, some team hasn't won a Super Bowl since 1985. I'm just saying. I don't want to mention.
Last time your team won a Super Bowl, VHSs.
Okay, so that was 95. So so what were they watching in 80?
Well, last time Rocco's team won, VHS just came out.
Yeah, they were still watching. They were still watching Betamax back in the day. Betamax. So
playing 8-track.
Hey, I'll say this: at least my team has made an appearance in the Super Bowl in the 21st century. Your team hasn't even made an appearance.
Going to the prom. Nobody will dance with you at the prom. You might as well have stayed at home. Going and losing. That's the same argument that the Atlanta Falcons. Oh, we went okay, and every time you go, you get smoked. So what would you rather I guess your thing is it's better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all. Is that what you're saying? Because to me, going and getting smoked, I would rather not even go. I'd rather not even go. So we got a debate coming up here. We got a debate coming up here with.
By the way, who's the host?
Huh?
You are, Dalton.
Well, Dre said
I'm assuming that it's D-Man. I think he's the host.
Turn your mic on, Dalton.
How you doing?
Turn it up, not on. Well, yeah, I don't know what happened to Dre, but I'm pretty.
Hey, we can continue the conversation. I mean,
I'm pretty sure. No. We kind of got off track. I mean, he made his point, but obviously we got to go to the West Side and talk about the Clippers and the Suns, obviously, and especially the game from last night. What's your take on that, AA?
That game definitely got physical. I remember doing the show Stay Tuned last night and seeing Patrick Beverly headbutt Devin Booker and cause his nose to get busted open and bleed and things like that. So the game was very physical. I honestly want the Suns to win and go to the finals just because, kind of like to piggyback off of Rocco, what he said is that basically, if the Suns and the Hawks make it to the finals, that's something that the NBA probably never will foresee, and is something that I think is unpredictable and something that's going to be nice, to be honest.
Oh, that would be one of the most least watched NBA finals in like the last 25 years.
You would have to be a real basketball fan to watch it, to be honest with you.
There you go.
Yeah. So like
that kind of reminds me of that Spurs. Who was it? Was it the Spurs and the Knicks?
1999 Spurs and the Knicks. David Robinson.
That was terrible, man. That was really bad. That was really, really bad.
It would have almost been as bad as the Nets versus the Kings. Oh wait, they rigged it for the Lakers. Never mind.
I don't think it'll be this bad. They're that bad though, because of the fact that Trae Young is an up and coming player and Devin Booker is an up and coming player. I mean, I've been seeing a lot of lists that talk about like top 20, top 5, like top 10, top 5 NBA players that are under 25, and both Devin Booker and Trae Young are usually in that list that I see on social media. So I definitely think it's a finals that can happen like later down the line, and if it happens now, I wouldn't be surprised, and I think I thoroughly enjoy it. So I'm all for winning.
You always have to have the that youth infusion. You know what I'm saying? We get so used to the same teams, the same players, the LeBrons is the LeBrons and the KDs and the Steph Currys, and eventually, you always have to have that passing of the torch. You have to have it. That's just the in any sport. You have those young gunners that are coming up. You got the Devin Bookers, you got the Trae Youngs, you got the ball, which was Jello. Is that Jello? I get all them boys mixed. The ball, LaMelo from Charlotte.
I used to eat Jello.
I get them all. I get them confused. Whoever wanted to just won the offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah, that was LaMelo.
That was LaMelo. I mean, you got these young gunners that are coming up, and it's guys. LeBron James, 35, 36 years old? He's 35, 36 years old. You're gonna start seeing. You've been playing. He got drafted in 2003?
I think it's 2003.
2000.
He's 18 years in the league. I mean,
yeah, you know what I'm saying? That wear and tear starts to happen, and it's just it's inevitable that you have these young guys that are coming up, and they're coming. So it's really quite Luke. You got the Luke. You got the Lucas. You got the joke. You got the joke. You know the jokers. You know, and that's good. You know, because it keeps. You know, time goes on. Time waits for no man. Father Time is undefeated. So it's really nice to see this youth infusion coming in.
Definitely.
Anyway, to back off of, I kind of piggyback on what Adam was saying, and Andre, just real quick.
Okay.
Now, here's a huge difference between what the NBA wants and what the fans want. Because the NBA wants an LA team. The NBA would want the second biggest market to be in the NBA Finals. But the fans would love to see Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, Chris Paul, Jay Crowder. I mean, I personally, the Hawks and the Suns is what I would love to see.
Man.
I think that'd be a cool matchup. But we all know the NBA. We know that they can rig certain events to happen. So we'll have to wait and see.
Well,
I appreciate everybody holding it down while I was dealing with my computer being hella stupid. But we do got a caller on the line from Michigan right now. We got a caller on the line from Michigan. Want to talk about these playoffs? Caller, what's up?
What's going on?
What's up? All right, tell us a little bit about the playoffs. What you think about the NBA playoffs right now?
I think it's great basketball. I think a lot of storyline. Everything is working out great. CP scheduled to come back tomorrow. And the Bucks play tonight. I expect them to win the series easily. So I think that'll be a great finals for the Suns and the Bucks. I'm predicting the sweep with the Suns.
Okay. All right. Did everybody talk about the playoffs so far? Did everybody get a chance to talk about it? What their thoughts were? Double A.
We were on the Phoenix Clippers series. I think Rocco and Adam and Marcus kind of said something. I'll say something briefly. Obviously, I've been pushing and back in playoff P. Remember, we did World Class last week when I predicted after Kawhi got hurt that playoff P would rise, and he did. And then it's unfortunate he hits two big shots to give them the lead to only miss 2 free throws in the end. So I feel bad for him. But again, this is the Clippers. This has been a weird-ass playoffs. Don't count them out. Don't count them out. They've been down 2-0 at home before this year and came back and won a series. So the guy on the phone, I highly disagree. They will not be swept, whether they win the series or not. This is going to go 6 or 7 games for sure.
Okay, well, I'll come back game 4 after they sweep it. And
Okay.
Andre, with the phone call, and we can revisit that when they do indeed finish the sweep.
For sure, definitely will, because I'm agreeing with you. I think this is over. I think Chris Paul coming back. Listen, I keep trying to tell folks, stop sleeping on DeAndre Ayton. I told folks months ago, stop sleeping on him. He's phenomenal player. He's getting better. The development that Chris Paul has instilled in this team, you've literally heard Monty Williams say he's the assistant coach on this team. And folks still kill me trying to tell me how Chris Paul is not influential to this team. I just don't understand, folks. You got to make it make sense sometimes. I'm just sitting here listening to folks, and it just bedazzles me sometimes. Chris Paul is the catalyst to this damn team, and he's coming back. And the reason why they won game 1 and 2 the way they did is because Chris Paul has installed his veteran leadership into this team. So when he departs, this team can do what they do. Cameron Payne, perfect example. Cameron Payne on the Chicago Bulls was what? King Czar, you should know this. What was he? Okay,
He was garbage man.
Paul player, and what does he turn into? What does he turn into? A damn good player.
Now he's
Cameron
a supervisor. He's not the garbage man no more. He's a supervisor.
Right. Cameron Johnson, good player. DeAndre Ayton steps up from year 1 to year 2. Like Devin Booker continues to do what he does. Folks, Devin Booker is a superstar. I'm tired of hearing this crap about folks who want to sit here and deny folks the right to the word superstar. I didn't say elite. I said superstar. There's a difference. He's a superstar. Trae Young is a superstar.
He ain't the next Kobe Bryant. He is not the next Kobe Bryant. I know that much.
Listen, sir. Stephen A. Smith. That's a comment that Stephen A. Smith says to sell, to get clicks and to sell a story. I'm not Stephen A. Smith. I'm paying attention to the fact that Devin Booker is Mr. Bookham. He's Devin Booker himself. That's it. He don't need to be Kobe Bryant just because he's wearing his shoes. He is Devin Booker, okay? Let's be clear. The Phoenix Suns is not playing games. The Phoenix Suns is not playing no games. DeAndre Ayton is a better version of Bam Adebayo. And we all know what Bam Adebayo did last year with my guy Giannis. In this series, if they play in the finals, brother, you better be ready. This ain't going to be no for the faint of heart. Milwaukee's not winning the finals. You guys can stop it now. It will be Chris Paul collecting his first. He will collect his first championship. DeAndre Ayton will get his title. Devin Booker will get his ring. And you guys, and then I will say, guess who the real MVP of the league was?
No, he won't.
Ding, ding. Ding, ding, ding. A certain Chris Paul, who I've said months ago should have been higher in the MVP voting, just for the simple fact of what he's done. Point blank.
Should have been the injury bug.
He should have been high. I honestly think that because of the fact he got sent to Phoenix, people thought it was going to be a death sentence for him. Like if we were to sit here and talk about like where the Phoenix Suns were going to rank, I guarantee you nobody would sit here and think that they would have been number 2 in the West where they are right now and in the Western Conference Finals.
Nobody thought it was a death sentence. They went undefeated in the bubble. They was on their way. That's all they were missing.
Stop saying the bubble. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay. Kings ROG. I'm gonna mention this one more time as a basketball coach and somebody who played it. Kings ROG. The bubble, nothing about the bubble was genuine. Let's be clear. What happened to Miami? Miami last year thrived in the bubble. What happened to them? Gone.
They were full of injuries and COVID.
You keep saying injuries and COVID. Stop using those lame excuses. Injuries happen in any sport. That's number one. And number two, it doesn't, because guess what? I've watched 5 teams. What happened to the Lakers this year? What happened to the Lakers?
Injuries.
No, it ain't no just injuries, boy. When you sit up here and got
Anthony Davis played, they went up 2. No.
No, don't play injuries, man. Stop that. Stop blaming just injuries. KCP scored 0. KCP scored 0. No.
We can just leave a different room.
Stop this. I can't listen. This is why I'm not going for this. Marcus, you know listen, we talk about injuries being effective in certain parts, but I don't want to hear it when Chris Paul only scored both of those games that he was gone, that AD was gone, he scored 8 points. DeAndre Ayton scored 8 points in both of those games. Stop using the injury excuse. That's a lame excuse.
The Lakers lost because Anthony Davis got hurt and LeBron wasn't even 100%. When they both played Anthony Davis, games 2 and 3, Anthony Davis blew them up. They went up 2-1. Then he got hurt. Brooklyn lost because of the injuries. Kyrie Irving got hurt. Brooklyn was up 2-0 and smashed them both games. Then Kyrie gets hurt. I don't want to hear that, and injuries don't matter. It's just that's bullshit.
I don't want to hear. Listen, I don't want to hear that BS. When again, Chris Paul scored 8 points in both of those games. AD was gone, and DeAndre Ayton scored 8 points. What are we talking about?
I didn't say nothing about the performance.
So ask us, what do you mean? The name of the game is basketball. Bro, so you only got 2 players. If AD would have played, they would have won the series? That's what you're telling me?
Absolutely.
Stop.
Absolutely.
No.
And I don't even like the Lakers.
No. Caller, do you agree with that? Thank you. No, they wouldn't have won the series if AD was playing because they was getting.
They were up 2-1.
Because for one, Frank Vogel didn't even know how to do his damn lineups.
Thank you. That's another thing.
Right, because
Anthony Davis was terrible. He never played
Hold on.
Hang on a second, guys. Hang on a second. Now, injuries. The injuries were kind of an issue. I mean, you're talking about the points that Chris Paul scored. Okay, hang on. Now, if Anthony Davis had played when he only scored those 8 points, how many points would the Lakers have won by?
Marcus, they would have blown
them. They would have blown them out the gym. And
No, sir. Let
me ask you this. One question. Go ahead, I'm gonna answer it. Is Anthony Davis a top 5 player in the league?
He's top 10.
Arguably,
yes, arguably top 10. Yes, arguably.
You don't think that missing a top 10. You don't think that missing a top 10 player has any type of effect on the team that lost them?
Well, guess what? While y'all laughing and asking those silly questions, I want you to go back and look at the games they won when AD scored 30. Guess who scored 25? Guess who scored 24? Guess who it was? You want to know who it was? Dennis Schroeder. It was Dennis Schroeder. Schroeder scored 0. I'm not hearing that. Oh, if AD would have came in, would have played, they would have won. No, because guess what? Schroeder scored 0. Even when Anthony Davis was
talking about performances.
No. I can't listen. King's Eye, I don't want to talk over you. Here's what I want to say. The games that LA won, when Anthony Davis scored 30, they still needed 20 plus from Schroeder.
It don't matter. When your star player is there, it's a different game.
That don't matter. You can't tell me that don't matter. When you play basketball,
hold on, Dre. Let me answer you. If AD is in there, it frees up a lot for Schroeder. If AD ain't in there, what you mean? That puts more pressure. Schroeder ain't no star.
That same excuse on injuries when you got to step up. When it's your turn, you got to step it up.
Everybody ain't good enough to step up.
Bro, stop that. Stop hitting me with they not good enough to step up when they got the best player in the world. The best player in the world playing.
36 and not even 100% himself.
No player is 100% in the NBA playoffs. No player. Bro, it's an 82-game series. No player is 100% in the playoffs. Stop it. Would you agree, caller?
Jordan was.
I agree.
Thank you. Bro, y'all killing me with this. Y'all making excuses. AD was injured, so that's why they lost to Phoenix.
Come on. So hold on. Okay, hold on, Dre. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Why did Brooklyn lose? Why did Brooklyn lose? You tell me.
Brooklyn lost because guess what? James Harden, that doggone hamstring, he couldn't get it up off the ground. But he played. You can clap all you want. He played. That bench is terrible. Hold on. You want to know why they lost? They lost because they ain't deep as Phoenix.
Kyrie Irving.
That's why.
Kyrie Irving.
Nah, bro.
No?
Nah.
Wow.
Nah.
They didn't lose because Kyrie Irving got hurt.
No, you want to know why I'm not giving you that?
No answer for Kyrie Irving.
Rock, you want to know why I'm not giving?
Had no answer for Kyrie Irving.
Wait a minute, ain't these the same people that were saying that? Oh, these guys only played 7 games this year. That's going to be the reason why they lose. Now, when they don't play together, now all of a sudden it's because of Kyrie Irving.
I didn't say that.
Man, I've heard mad people on this panel.
I never said they were going to lose. I picked them to win a championship from day one. I never said they were going to lose.
Marcus, how many people have you heard on this panel legitimately say that the Nets was going to lose the playoffs because they've had no continuity? They played only.
I heard that.
Have you heard that? Yes or no?
But I didn't say that.
Come on, man.
You said that, Rocco?
I was saying that on my show for months. Ever
Dude,
since
But
they
that's
traded
not
for
why they
James
lost,
Harden,
Rocco.
when they were trading for James Harden, when they were adding all these veterans to their bench, I was telling everybody that chemistry matters.
It
When it
does.
comes to the
That's not why
NBA
they lost.
playoffs,
How many times
you
have we
gotta build
seen in
chemistry.
How many times have we seen in history where people try to put together a bunch of good players just out of the blue and just think that because you got it's about roster construction, it's about chemistry and camaraderie. We've seen it in a bunch of, and not just basketball. We've seen it in a bunch of different sports. The Dream Team, the Eagles, when this is the Dream Team.
Right.
Even the Dream Team, the '92 Dream Team that they for the Olympics, they had to play together and get some warm up games. You're
Right,
not
you
just
have to
going
have
to go out
chemistry.
there and just grab a bunch of alphas. They're used to handling the ball and shooting the ball and just putting them on a team. It's like everybody has to find their niche. Everybody has to find their role on there. What it is.
Marcus, I agree 100%. You're 100% right. However, this wasn't so for that to come into play with Brooklyn, they'd have to lose with their 3 stars, and then we could say, oh, you know what? They lost. They scored a lot or whatever the case may be, but it was chemistry. So they lost. They didn't get to play together. So what you're saying doesn't apply to Brooklyn because they were hurt.
Here's the other premise that we've seen too. You can't just have one guy out there. We saw KD have some outstanding games.
Absolutely.
And we've seen a lot of superstars who don't end up getting championships because they're the only guy out there, and they got to do everything.
I'm telling you for a fact, Brooklyn lost because they have no bench. They lost because they don't have a bench. That's why.
And that hurts too. That hurts too when you're top heavy. When you're top heavy, and you just have and once the
most
stars
super teams don't have a bench. Miami didn't have a bench.
The Golden State Warriors did.
And that's why they never reached their goal. When they were sitting up there saying not 3 rings, not 4 rings, not 5 rings, because look, unfortunately, in most sports, you have there's only so much pie to go around. Yeah, okay, you want these three awesome guys. Okay, now you got an Uber driver coming off the bench that's got to hold it down while these guys take a breather. You know what I'm saying? Unless you want them to play the whole damn game.
Marcus, keep it a buck. If I want to be funky, if we're gonna keep it funky, you know what hurt the Nets?
I think part of it was confidence because people were already like Denny Green said. You want to crown their ass, crown their ass.
No, it ain't. Marcus, you want to know why I'm saying that's not the case? Because when one player went out, the other 2 stepped up and they won games. Go look at their record when they had only 2 superstars playing, when they only had 2 superstars. Look at their records. Their records was still legit. Even when Kevin Durant went out, their record was legit. Let me finish. When James Harden went out, their record was legit. When Kyrie Irving took that time on his vacation, remember that? Everybody was like, what was he doing? Taking a vacation? They were still legit. You know what hurt them the most? And this is why I say the bench is because nobody has mentioned this, but LaMarcus Aldridge retiring hurt them. Want to know why? Because LaMarcus Aldridge is a guy you go to when you ain't got your players on the floor to score. That's what hurt them the most.
We also don't want to mention their 8-man rotation, but
yes, they had an 8-man rotation as well. Thank you, Rocco. On top of that, to add on to it, I'm not giving the Nets the excuse that Kyrie went down. No, absolutely not. The bench.
So this team banked on Harden, Kyrie, and KD. That was their recipe to win a championship. Kyrie doesn't play; he gets hurt. James Harden plays on one leg. I just don't see how you're gonna tell me that does not matter. That doesn't make sense.
Because when superstars get injured, the rest of your players got to step up.
Well,
I understand that. Hold on. So real quick, Dre. So when your star player at any sport, we go football, whatever. When Aaron Rodgers got hurt for Green Bay, speaking of, we always talk about Green Bay 2 years ago or whatever that was, and they had the brother that came in. Did he step up? Right? they supposed to step up, right? Ain't no excuse. Aaron Rodgers got hurt. But I see it how it is. That's a big reason why Green Bay fell off and lost like 7 in a row. Every player can't step up. Every player is not talented. If they were, then they wouldn't have went out and signed Kyrie, traded for Harden, every player would just step up.
Hold on, but let's be clear. Football is the ultimate. How many times we got to say this?
No, I'm just using that as an example. Okay. I'm saying, look at Denver Nuggets, Jamal Murray.
Well,
Jamal Murray, did the point guard step up in the Phoenix series? No, Jamal Murray was putting up 50.
Hold on, you talking about Capazzo? Capazzo is trash.
Jamal Murray.
Trash. I told you that. But hold on.
I know. Exactly.
Okay, so here's my thing though.
Step up, right?
Right, but when you in the NBA, your rotation roster is 8 to 14, not 53. There's a total big difference. And let me
that's why I switched and came back to Denver and said, okay, we want to use the Green Bay.
In the NBA, you have more opportunity to step up. For one, because there's less players. For two, you need players to step up even more in the NBA in order to have a team be legit. But
it don't happen when your star player go out.
Watch this. The Detroit Pistons is a perfect example.
Which one?
The Detroit Pistons. They trash.
Oh, you talking about right now? Oh,
yes.
Yeah, of course. I know a lot of teams are trash. I'm not sure where you're going with it, but they don't have a star player.
Here's where I'm going with it. As soon as Drummond left, as soon as Blake left, they were even worse than they already was. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't even know if that's true or not, record-wise, because Drummond don't win. Drummond don't win nowhere. He went to Cleveland. They still garbage. Drummond makes no team better. He just stacks his rebounds, can't shoot free throws, and he ain't won nothing.
Listen, he only made Detroit a little bit better. He only made
a little bit,
but that's not saying much though. You know,
right.
that's not. Look, again, I say this all the time. There's levels to this. When people, this guy should just step up. He is. It reminds me of. I'm gonna give y'all a quick. I love Marvel movies. I'm gonna give y'all a quick Marvel analogy. So y'all remember the first Iron Man where they got Tony Stark's suit. And he goes, Tony Stark built this suit in a cave in Afghanistan. And what did the doctor say to him? What did he say to him? He said, I ain't Tony Stark. I'm not Tony Stark. There's levels to this. Just because you see this guy doing, and all attributes aren't passed down. We've seen players have sons and stuff. You're thinking, okay, well, he's got some of these traits or whatever. Michael Jordan, as great as he was, Marcus Jordan was terrible. He was terrible. He was absolutely terrible. So to tell some guy who's a Jag, and I don't mean a Jacksonville Jag, just a guy, just another guy, to step up and fill in superstar shoes, that's not generally going to happen. It's just not. This doesn't happen.
Okay. So I
got a question for you. It's off topic. So I was thinking if the Phoenix go on to win the championship and Chris Paul, gets his ring, is his ring going to be viewed like a Clyde Drexler ring with Hakeem Olajuwon and a Jason Kidd ring, with Dirk, or is it going to be viewed as more, like a Kobe with a Shaq ring or Pippen with a Jordan ring or something like that? Like, is he going to, if Devin Booker dominates the finals and wins finals MVP, what is that going to mean for Chris Paul's legacy?
I think
is it just going to be enough in the championship, or are they going to give him credit?
It just means Nightwing got a ring. That's all.
I think it means a lot for. I say this all the time because we crucify.
Hold on, Marcus. I could have said Alfred, but I said Nightwing.
That's disrespectful, Czar. That's real disrespect. That's real.
That's why he said it.
Look, man. I say this all the time. Again, in any sport, it's hard to win championships. People like this guy doesn't have a champ. Do you know what this guy had to go through to get through first off, when Chris Paul first comes into the league, he's playing with the New Orleans Hornets, the New Orleans who are terrible, who are absolutely terrible. He gets bounced around all over the place. He finally moves to the Western Conference in the heyday of the Golden State Warriors and the Spurs. That's what he had to go through. So we look at players sometimes very unfairly, and we judge them by championships. And I say it all the time, you know, it's hard to win championships. Especially you got to look at how would we think of Reggie Miller if Michael Jordan didn't play? What would we think of Karl Malone if Michael Jordan didn't play? What would we think of some of those Knicks players if Michael Jordan didn't play? He derailed a lot of
If my auntie had nuts, she'd be my uncle. Though.
I got it. But I'm just saying it's hard. There's 30 teams in the NBA. There's 30 teams in the NBA. There's 32 teams in the NFL. It's hard. Oh, you know, people like to make jokes all the time. Oh, this team hasn't won in such a long time. It's hard. You have some teams that ain't even been to the championship.
Whether it's being hard or not.
That's not the discussion, though.
We're talking about what is it going to mean for him, for his legacy.
I just told you, Nightwing.
Stop that disrespect. You disrespect.
He ain't Batman, so don't go there.
Would you say? Can we agree that Chris Paul's one of the top 5 point guards to ever play?
Top
yes or
six.
no?
Top 6 or 7.
Okay, and how many years has the NBA been around? You're one of the even if you want to say 6, okay, that's fine. You want to say 6, that's cool. 6, I think he's top 5. Chris Paul is one of the greatest.
The point guard can't be freaking Nightwing. What that?
Oh, hold on. So hold on.
Your tail spanked for that. Talking about some damn Nightwing.
So who was Kenny Smith when Houston won 2 titles in a row as the point guard? Who was he?
Chris Paul. Kenny Smith ain't
no point guard. You said no point guard could be Nightwing.
But that's not what I said. I said the point guard can't be Nightwing.
Why not? There's plenty of Nightwing point guards.
Hang on, Czar. Now, when people say certain stuff, I got to call you out on it. So you give me the 5 point guards in history that are better than Chris Paul. I'm waiting. Let's go.
Magic Johnson.
Okay, I'll take that.
Isaiah Thomas.
Okay, I'll take that.
John Stockton.
Is he though?
Yes.
I don't know if I don't know about that. That's questionable. Go ahead.
Jason Kidd.
Jason Kidd, he was another guy who could never win. What are we saying?
And he took one of the worst teams in the NBA Finals 2 years in a row, and they wasn't even a playoff team before he got there.
The Mavericks with the
New Jersey Nets.
With the Nets.
With the Nets, who got blown
he was the best
out.
point guard in the NBA.
Who got blown out against the Lakers. So we're going to judge him on that? We're going to judge him on that?
I'm just telling you.
Hold on, y'all. We got to hear what the caller said. What did you say, caller?
No, I'm saying, he said Kidd never won, and Kidd won a ring in Dallas. So what do you mean by that?
He did win a ring in Dallas, right?
Okay, so Chris Paul to me is debatable. That Isaiah
Thomas, I want to hear his 5. I want to see. He said he's.
So that's 4. That's 4.
Okay.
Now people, and I'm not even gonna put this guy in there, but people say Curry is better, but I'm not even gonna put Curry in my list.
What? Why not?
I'm going with Gary Payton, the greatest defensive point guard to ever play the game.
What?
Okay. And he doesn't have a ring and got blown out
because of Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Because of Michael Jordan.
So again, you can't use the same argument because again, look at who he had to go through to get to look at who he lost to and look at the era. I say it all the time. Look at the era who's been the dominant teams since Chris Paul has been in the league. in the West,
The
in the
Lakers,
Western Conference.
the Lakers,
The Lakers,
and the Warriors.
the Lakers, the Spurs,
and the Warriors.
Okay, you're losing to three of the greatest franchises.
But he doesn't even
ever.
get nowhere near. Gary Payton made a finals. Chris Paul is just now making a
I
finals.
love how this argument's going to be invalid.
Hold on. Gary Payton was Batman on the
we got to
Sonics.
move on, though.
Gary Payton was not Batman.
Yes,
Gary
he was.
Payton Sean Kemp was
No,
Batman.
he was Sean Kemp was Robin. He don't get those alley-oops. He don't get none of that if he don't have GP.
And they had complete.
What happened? What happened? What happened when they split? What happened to Sean Kemp?
What happened to Gary Payton when he went to the Lakers?
He was 40 years old. Come on, bro.
I'm just saying he never. Okay, and how old?
In
How old
his
is Chris
prime, he
Paul?
was Batman on the Sonics.
How old is Chris Paul now?
34, 30, somewhere around 34, I think you said.
I think
He's
He ain't
36.
40. He ain't 40.
Okay, and he's still out there leading these young. He's a starter.
Well, he ain't leading.
Gary Payton wasn't a start. Gary Payton wasn't a starter on those Lakers teams. He wasn't a starter on those.
40, bro. He was 40.
Okay, he's 36 playing with kids.
And Gary Payton did start on the Lakers team.
I got to mute y'all real quick. I got to mute both of y'all. I know y'all going at it. I love it. Marcus Betts and King OG going at it right now. I just want to say this. Y'all have to remember what Chris Paul brought to this team, man. Matter of fact, Phoenix was stacked more last year when they had Oubre in them last year. All these guys that they had this year, they had last year on the roster. Go look. Monty Williams was the coach too. Chris Paul comes in. They go from being, 25 and wait a minute. They were like 14 games under 500 before the bubble. Folks keep talking about this bubble, this AAU bubble, in which never happens really in NBA history. There is no time where you can take 2 months off, get to readjust everything, get your players to be healed, and then come back in a bubble and go undefeated. That is so disingenuous. There is no time in the NBA where that has happened. COVID is the only reason why that ever happened. Let's be clear, for one. Two, secondly, the trajectory. Y'all need to stop talking about this trajectory when they didn't make the playoffs. They didn't even make the playoffs last year. The Suns hadn't made the playoffs in 10 years. They were the 10th seed last year. Chris Paul comes into the organization. They go from 30 wins to damn near 50 plus wins and number 2 in the damn conference. On top of the fact that Booker has put up the same numbers the last 2 seasons straight. We gonna sit up here and call Chris Paul a Nightwing?
Sometimes you gotta look.
Hold on. So you're saying Booker this season is exactly the same as last season?
Yes, sir. Go look up his numbers.
I'm not talking about that.
Yes.
I'm just talking about what his impact was the same
player. No, he's not the same player because of Chris Paul. What do you mean?
Oh my goodness.
Chris
Paul, wait a minute. Time out, Marcus. Every player has legitimately came out and said the same thing. Go ask Devin Booker. Why his game elevated. He will tell you. Chris Paul.
Give up props. That's just the right thing to say.
Go ask Keegan Johnson. Go ask DeAndre Ayton. Go even ask the coach. So we sitting up here. We gonna sit up here and just
hold on. You're being slick. I didn't say nothing that Chris Paul. Hold on. I didn't say he wasn't a leader. I didn't say he didn't help. I said the guy on the phone.
You can't be the leader of the new school. Kingstar, you can't be the leader of the new school and be Nightwing.
No. What you mean? He's a superhero. Only one person can be. Okay, let me ask you. Who's Batman on the Suns? Who is Batman?
Chris.
No.
Yo, stop the PS, bro.
No.
It is Chris Paul.
He is. The leader of the new school is Batman. Just because he don't score as many points.
Hang on, Dre. Hang on. I'm going to use his own argument against him. Now, you said that Jason Kidd, now those Nets teams that went to those back-to-back championships, they were pretty good, right?
No, they were terrible before Jason Kidd got there. They didn't make the playoffs.
That's the same argument that we're using.
Hold on, time out. Okay, this is how I'm going to get you. Who? Jason Kidd was clear and far away the best player on that Nets team.
No, not really. Vince Carter was raw too.
Vince Carter wasn't even on that team. Vince Carter wasn't even on that team. What are you talking about?
On the
They
next
had,
day,
Vince Carter was not on that team. Their second best player was Kenyon Martin, who wasn't nothing until Kidd got there throwing him lobs. That's all Kenyon Martin could do was dunk the basketball.
And
Jason
Devin
Kidd was clearly the only star on that team. This Phoenix Suns got 3 stars.
So you say Vince Carter wasn't on the Nets with Jason Kidd?
Not when they went to the finals.
Not when they went
I don't
to the
think.
finals.
I don't know if he. I think that was Richard. I think that was Richard Jefferson. I think that was Richard Jefferson.
Trust
They
me,
had
that's
Richard
the
Jefferson.
difference I'm saying, Marcus.
They
I
had
feel what you're saying,
Sam Cassell.
but Jason Kidd carried that team.
That Nets team had Sam. They had Sam Cassell.
A backup.
Okay, Sam Cassell with
He
championship.
obviously didn't get the job done. That's why they brought in Kidd.
Okay, what I'm saying is, sometimes what you need is veteran leadership that comes on. No matter what sport it is, you get that old school leader, OG, that comes on and teaches these young kids how to play. How good was that? How good was that Tampa team before Tom Brady got there last year?
Oh, now we're going back to football, right?
Okay, I'm just saying, like sometimes you gotta have that. You gotta have that leadership that comes in.
But what y'all arguing? Y'all arguing like I'm saying. Y'all changing the argument is not. Hold on, the argument is not. I'm giving Chris Paul credit. He's done great wonders there. I'm just saying the guy get asked, what would this mean if they win the chip? I think, and he just said if Booker wins Finals MVP, obviously Batman wins Finals MVP. So that's what he's asking the question. So Nightwing, it would mean Nightwing with a chip. That's not a bad thing.
Hell no, he ain't Nightwing, bro. You can't be the leader of the new school and be Nightwing. I'm not hearing it.
And just for the record, if we're gonna use comic book references, let's use them right. Okay, let's use the comic book. Nightwing was his own dude. Okay, Robin was. They're
the same to me, though.
No, they're not the same.
Okay, fine. Chris Paul is War Machine.
Nightwing said "F you" to Batman and went to Hell's Kitchen and ran his own thing. Okay,
man. Hold on. He's War Machine.
Watch this. The man is literally Aquaman. If we gonna talk Kyrie. Chris Paul is literally he's the man that's keeping this damn team running. He's the damn man that's keeping this team from being thirsty as hell right now. What the hell is you talking about?
That's a good one. I'll take Aquaman. Hey, I'll take Aquaman, but he damn sure ain't Superman.
He don't gotta be. Listen, guess what? He ain't gotta be Superman. Your man LeBron James ain't even Superman now.
Jordan was.
That's okay.
Oh, by the way, can I mention something?
That's a whole other argument. That's a whole.
Hey, Andre, can I mention something real quick?
Go ahead, Rock.
I went back and listened to King Czar's list.
Yeah, come on.
Like he has no modern era point guards. Nobody from the modern era.
This old head.
The best point guard in the modern era is Chris Paul, who I said would be like number 6.
Okay, but no Curry, no Chris.
No, I just said I didn't put
Curry
Curry
has
on my
literally
list.
changed the NBA and how it's.
Curry's a great shooter. He is not a great point guard.
What the? Oh my God!
What you got
I would say this. Curry is more of a Curry and Allen Iverson. Even though they were small body, hang on. They were more two guards than they were point guards. They just are.
Thank you.
Point guard. Okay, yes. A true point guard is a facilitator. They don't take a whole lot of shots. Allen Iverson. I got you. Allen Iverson, Russell Westbrook, and guys like that. They're
all
really
the guys I named: Magic, Isaiah, Stockton, Kidd. They were all facilitators.
I got you, and I would not say that John Stockton was better than Chris Paul.
I mean, you can argue it, but I have Stockton over him. I didn't say it was like.
But I'm just saying, when you say you're top 5 at your position all time, I think that makes you pretty damn great.
I wouldn't either.
I think that makes you pretty great.
Oh yeah, he is great. Chris Paul is great. I'm not
And
saying
to call him
great.
Nightwing, that's just disrespectful.
I
That's
said
You know what?
very
Wolverine.
disrespectful.
He knew he was being disrespectful, man. Listen, we gonna move on. We gotta move on. Listen, I knew that this was gonna be a hot, steamy show. We got Double A in the house. What's up? Double A, what's good, man? Yo, what is in your cup, Marcus Best? I know you got something in your cup right now. I got lemonade in mine. I'm gonna be honest. I knew I was gonna have to ask him.
All right.
I'm about to go put something in mine. Shoot, man.
H2O. Enjoy your water.
Our OG got something in his cup. I don't know, man. He got some liquid courage in there or something. Some extra in that cup tonight. All right,
Hey,
listen.
man, we done talking about War Machine. Let's move on.
Yeah, war. You know what? See, and then you want to call it war. See, here you go. He gotta keep it going. All right.
Hey, look. Hey, by the way, Braxton, you keep asking this in the comments, so I'll say it now. Kay Cunningham going to Detroit is going to be great. Isaiah Stewart, Kay Cunningham. That's the
I'm
future
gonna
of
get into
Detroit.
that. Yes.
Detroit's
absolutely.
5 years away.
All right. With that being said, it is time to move on to this real quick as I pull up a whole bunch of other stuff. We got to get to this because
Oh, shit. Here we go.
this was super
Of
important.
course.
Debate question of the day, folks. Now, I know for a fact that I got 2 Dallas Cowboys fans on here, but I want some legitimate premise, and don't say it's because he played for the Cowboys. Who's the better quarterback? Troy Aikman or Ben Roethlisberger?
Is this really a question?
Yes.
really,
Oh,
really.
it's very much a question.
I love how this was lopsided.
I just want to say,
Okay.
I'm going to go back to my original premise, and I say this all the time: eras matter. Okay, you see a lot of these quarterbacks, these modern day quarterbacks playing 20 years. Quarterbacks in Troy Aikman's era, quarterbacks in Brett Favre's era, quarterbacks in Joe Montana's era, they didn't play 20 years. And the reason that they didn't play 20 years is because the league was a whole lot tougher.
Right.
It was
trying to create an era.
I promise you, if Tom Brady came into the league in the 1970s or 80s, he wouldn't have played to the year. If Tom Brady would have came into the league in 1980, he would not have played 24 years, 23, 24 years. I promise you. When you got guys like Lawrence Taylor, Bruce Smith, Neil Smith, guys like that will knock the taste out of you now. Who else?
Reggie White.
You're not gonna play that long. Now, I don't want to question. I'm not gonna question Ben Roethlisberger's. I'm not gonna question Ben Roethlisberger's toughness. The question that I've always had with, and I don't know if my co-host from the Alphabet Show is watching in here.
Oh, she's watching. By the way,
she gets furious when I say this.
But
I present this question to the panel. And I know probably Chocolate Girls in here. By the way, happy birthday, Sharon. I know today's Sharon's birthday. The question I've always had with Ben Roethlisberger is he's always had me wanting more from him. Because he basically is from the same era. He's basically from the same era as Tom Brady. When you look at Ben Roethlisberger's body, do you think he takes football as seriously as he should? When you got a guy like Tom Brady eating avocado ice cream in the TB12 way, I always thought that Ben Roethlisberger could have been so much better. I also, again, the eras. Roethlisberger got drafted in what, 04, 05? And he's been playing 16, 17 years. Troy Aikman played 11 years. 3 championships in 4 years. One of the most accurate quarterbacks ever. Now, Ben has better stats than him. He's got better stats because he's played longer.
The passer league is more of a passer league too.
And it was more of a passing league. The Cowboys were more of a run-first team. You have to take things like that into consideration. Because back then, you have the all-time leading rusher on your team. Now, you look at the receivers. Who are the best receivers that Troy Aikman's ever had? compared to who's the best receivers that Ben Roethlisberger ever had. Hang on. You have Michael Irvin and Alvin Harper. Look at the receivers that Ben Roethlisberger has had in his career. Is Antonio Brown a Hall of Famer? Is he going to be a Hall of Famer?
He was the best receiver. Antonio Brown was the best receiver in the NFL for a while.
For a while, he was the best. As good as Michael Irvin was, I will never say that Michael Irvin was the best receiver in the league because he played in the same.
I wouldn't go that far. He was right there with Jerry Rice for 3 seasons.
He was, but I don't know if anybody would ever say. To me, it was 3 receivers at that time. You had Michael Irvin, you had Jerry Rice, and you had Chris Carter. To me, those were the 3 best receivers in that era.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for a while there, Antonio Brown, in my opinion, was the best receiver in the league. And he still would have been putting up numbers if he wasn't such a jackass.
Yeah, Hines Ward.
Santonio Holmes, Plaxico Burress, Hines Ward. Antoine Randall Adams. Look at the guys that he's played against, that he played with. His offensive line, his defenses. You know, I mean, it's like, come on. Now, if you're just going to go with straight up stats, okay. If you're going to go with just straight up stats, yes, Ben Roethlisberger, 60,348 yards to Troy Aikman's 32,942, 165 touchdowns to 396 touchdowns, 141 interceptions to 201 interceptions. But he's played 7 years longer. So, I mean, it's what are you looking for? But Troy Aikman has more rings. He's got 3 rings in 4 years, back-to-back championship. Had the Steelers and Ben Roethlisberger era ever gone back-to-back? No.
Not
Have they ever won 3 championships and 4 rings? Again, and with Ben Roethlisberger, the era that he played in, he's played in the Tom Brady era. So it always had you wanting more from him. But if you just look at their fit, I always thought that I think Troy Aikman had a better arm. I like Ben Roethlisberger's toughness. I like Ben Roethlisberger. I say that to anybody. Ben Roethlisberger is one of the toughest, not just quarterbacks ever. To me, he's one of the toughest players ever to play. He's a little bit more a little bit more mobile. But I will take Troy Aikman's accuracy and arm strength over Ben Roethlisberger any day of the week. And I think that Troy Aikman was a better leader than Ben Roethlisberger too.
Absolutely.
So it depends on what do you value. What do you value? Super Bowl championships or stats?
All right, so this is why I put them 2 together. First and foremost, Kings ROG. I like the fact that you brought up that it was a passers league versus a non-passers league, even though Pittsburgh was a run-first team. But okay. And they were run-first heavy. Don't forget Jerome Bettis.
He still threw a lot.
The bus was his runner.
Like 2 seasons, but
he still threw a lot.
Okay, couple seasons. Fine.
Ben Roethlisberger has 2 5,000-yard seasons. Troy Aikman's never even hit a 4,000-yard pass.
Correct. Now here's the thing: you brought up toughness. Ben Roethlisberger, probably one of the toughest quarterbacks to play the game. Let's be honest. Okay, that's number 2. 3. I brung it up because Antonio Brown is probably the consummate wide receiver. Michael Irvin is probably his consummate wide receiver, right? So you got a lot of similarities. Then we look at defenses. I mean, Pittsburgh's defense has been pretty damn good. Cowboys defense back then was pretty damn good, right? Pretty damn good defenses. I think I'm getting a call, but hold on. Okay, so my thing is, at the end of the day, is obviously you like to potato. I say tomato. You say potato. I say potato. Right? That's what Ben Roethlisberger to me. And why y'all talking about rings? I mean, Ben has 2, right? Got 2, right?
Yes.
Okay. He's one off. So he's one off. He's been to 3 Super Bowls. Aikman's been to 3, right? 3, 4.
No, I think he's been the 5. right?
Aikman lost two?
He lost one to the Packers, didn't he? The year Aaron Rodgers won his championship. I think that was against the Steelers, right?
Ben's been to 3. He lost the one to the Packers. That's the only one he lost.
Okay.
Lost to the Packers. He's been to 3. I'm talking about Aikman. Aikman's been
he's 3-0, baby.
Right. So Aikman is 3-0. So they've been in the same amount of Super Bowls too. So that's another reason why I kind of compare. I get the loss to Green Bay, obviously, was by 6 points. Close game. Aaron Rodgers just had a phenomenal game in that game, and defense stepped up too. But there's some things as far as like toughness, throwing the football. I mean, Ben is nice. I get Ben. We know Ben now to have a noodle arm, but I'm just looking at the era he played in, having to play with Tom Brady, the era of Tom Brady's. And I get it. You guys say Tom Brady probably wouldn't make it in an era that Troy Aikman played.
Well, no, I think he would have made it, but he wouldn't play 20 whatever years.
He ain't gonna pay no. Look, a lot of his stats, and a lot of Drew Brees' stats. Why did they have those stats for 70-something thousand yards? Because they played 20 years. They played 20 years. You're not gonna
hold on.
70, right?
Me, Tom Brady is not Joe Montana. They're the same people to me.
Wait a minute. So longevity counts, right?
Yeah, it does.
Yes, but here's part of the longevity though. Here's part of the longevity though. The era that you played in. You know why Troy Aikman retired?
Troy Aikman only played 11 seasons.
Troy Aikman retired because of concussions. If you hit a quarterback now above the neck and shoulder area, what is going to happen to you? If you go at the quarterback's knees, what is going to happen to you if you're a defender?
Shit, if you touch the quarterback, what's going to happen to you?
That's why you can play 20 years because you're not getting hit in the mouth. Steve Young,
okay, time out. I'm only, wait a minute though, Marcus. I'm only giving that to you for a certain amount of time. You not going to tell me that was in the whole 20 years existence of those guys playing. CTE.
When did they really change? Look, do you know when the touching the quarterback thing kind of came into effect? The Carson Palmer playoff game where he got hurt the first play and they lost Carson Palmer when the Bengals were actually pretty good, and the tuck play with Tom Brady. Look, they've changed the rules for some football because of Tom Brady. There's
actually one more reason why they changed it, but
tell me.
Let me tell you the main reason why the NFL is becoming the way it is. The NFL got sued out the ass for the concussions because
it was a couple years ago, correct?
It happened 8 years ago in 2013 when all these former athletes were coming out. So you can't tell me that 8 years ago when that concussion came out and they were paying millions and millions of dollars.
But no, I'm saying, but who were the people who sued? The people who sued were players like Jim McMahon, who played in the 80s. It wasn't current players that sued. It was old players that played. It was old players.
Hold on, time out. Some young players also was pissed. Matter of fact, some young players retired early because of it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So half of your career. Okay. No. So he's played 16 years. You said that this 17. Came out. 17 years. And you said this came out. So half of his career.
Right. So he was already a year damn near 10 already.
No, he was at year 8, year 8, 16, 17 years.
9. He was okay.
Because this season ain't happened yet. This season ain't
happened yet. Hold on, Marcus. Rock, you said 8 years ago, 2013, right?
In 2013 is when the whole lawsuit came out, and they were having to pay millions.
When did Roethlisberger start playing? Because you said that he in the court
04, 05. But this goes back because I remember Ray Lewis complaining about Tom Brady. He goes, "He's a man just like me." Why are y'all protecting this dude? Even Ray Lewis used to say it. He was in the same era.
Brady being right. But they didn't protect everybody. They protected him.
That's what I'm saying. That's what he was complaining about. That's what he was complaining about. So again, the era that you play, there's no way that Tom Brady, with all of his greatness and 7 championships, how many? The reason he's got 7 championships is because he's been playing 23 years. He's had more shots at it. So when you get to sit up there and you can't hit, and that's not just football. That's in basketball too. A lot of people say that the basketball that we grew up watching in the 80s with Jordan and the Bad Boy Pistons, you would get ejected. You would get technical fouls for that now. That's just what it is. I'm not taking away from Ben Roethlisberger's toughness. I'm not taking away from his toughness. I'm just saying, when you're a big guy like him, can you imagine Shaq playing now in basketball? I'm going to jump back over to basketball. With how touchy it is now, can you imagine? You couldn't touch Shaq. You couldn't touch Shaq. He's
trying to make basketball and football synonymous today. I get it. I get what you're doing.
I'm saying the era that you play in matters. The rules matter. When you can't, these receivers, you can't touch the receivers after 5 yards. I remember back in the day, they used to clothesline people. Does everybody remember what happened to Joe Theismann? Everybody remember what happened to
horse
Joe
collar,
Theismann?
all that. There wasn't no damn horse collar rule.
So when you're able to play longer, you're able to now. A lot of these records that are standing now, they're not going to be. Now they get another game. They go from 16 games to 17 games now, and they're eventually trying to go to 18 games.
Well, I think Ben Roethlisberger's last year is this year, so he will only benefit 1 year from that, maybe.
And but I'm just saying though, he's got.
I get you.
He's got 60,000 passing yards, which is like damn near 20,000 behind his contemporaries. He's 20,000 behind Tom Brady and Drew Brees in a passing era.
Right,
so,
but I will say this: between Drew Brees and Peyton Manning, because you forget Peyton Manning's in that list too. These guys were pass first type dudes though, except for Tom Brady. I mean, Tom Brady became more of a pass first after the whole is it Spygate or Deflategate? I want to say Spygate, because Tom Brady started becoming a system. Like 20.
Everybody who said that the Steelers are just a run team for a few years there, and my co-host can testify to this because it pisses her off, and that's why she was so happy with the Najee Harris pick. I mean, even when they had Le'Veon Bell, they did a lot of throwing the ball and checking the ball down to him. Ben Roethlisberger was slinging it all over the place. They kind of got away from what they used to be. Yeah, when did Ben Roethlisberger retire? Like 2010. I mean, they had Ben Roethlisberger for 10 years. They've been the Pittsburgh Steelers have been a passing team for about the past 10 years.
Restate that question. Restate that question again.
When did Jerome Bettis retire?
2005.
2005. Okay, who's been their running backs after that? Like
Rashard Mendenhall.
Rashard Mendenhall. That ain't no,
Willie Parker.
You see what I'm saying? The Steelers for the past few years have been a passing team.
They had nothing until Le'Veon Bell got there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then even with Le'Veon Bell would have like 70, 80 catches.
Right.
So, I mean, even though he was a running back,
so Mark, to give you some right. So to give you some premise, here's Ben Roethlisberger's attempts by the year. Since I'll start from like 2011. So he had 513 and 11, 449 and 12, 548 and 13, 608 and 14, 469 and 15, 509 and 16, 561. In 2018, he had a whopping 675 attempts. That's the year he threw for 5,129 yards. And then in 2020, he had 608 attempts, because remember 2019 he played 2 games and was injured.
Okay, so when you're taking 5 and 600, you're having 5 and 600 attempts. You're going to have a lot of. Again, he's nearly double Troy Aikman as far as passing yards. Again, the era that you play in matters. If Troy Aikman could have had 30, 40 attempts in the game, that wasn't how the Cowboys played, though. They were a run first team, run Emmitt Smith down your throat, and then play action and Michael Irvin screaming down the field wide open, or Alvin Harper and Jay Novacek. That wasn't their game. They wanted to run the ball and use that offensive line and lean on you. So again, it's a different style of ball, a different era of ball. I think that if Troy Aikman could have played in today's era where he couldn't get touched, and he could have played more than just 11 years, he got drafted in 89 and retired in 2000. He played 11, 12 years. Ben Roethlisberger's going to
he played 11 years. Yeah.
11 years. It's like, come on, man. You don't think that having another 7, 8 years added onto your career is going to help out your stats? And he played less years and won more Super Bowl rings. And had back-to-back and won 3 championships in 4 years. So again, it's the Michael Irvin, it's the Michael Jordan, LeBron James comparison. Oh, he's been the 10 10 finals. Okay, and he lost 6 of them. So okay, congratulations. He's 4-6 in the finals. He's 4-6 in the finals. Or would you rather have a guy who's 6-0? You got a guy who's 2-1 versus a guy who's 3-0 and won 3 in 4 years. Just saying. You can't say that the Cowboys defense was significantly better. They were pretty good, but look at the guys that the Steelers have had on defense. They've had some pretty damn good defenses. So, it's just Mark is talking VCR days again. Buck always the Tampa Bay finally gets good, and then the Bucks fans, they come out from under the rocks and they come out. He wasn't saying nothing 2 years ago when Jameis Winston went 30 for 30, but now he's talking again. After you get the GOAT quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hear nothing from him when they were 30 and 30, but he talking.
And let him have his shine, man. He a Tampa Bay fan, man. He's been so dreaded in purgatory for centuries, man. Let him have his shine finally, man.
Were you still a Buccaneers fan when y'all was wearing them creamsicle uniforms? When y'all's coach asked, he said, "What do you think about the execution of your team?" And the coach said,
when I had Steve the Bird.
Yeah, were you a fan then? Were you a fan whenever Steve Young asked for a trade because y'all were so terrible? He went to the 49ers. Were you a fan then? I've always been a Cowboys fan. Win, lose, or draw.
Right.
Win, lose, or draw. Always been a Cowboys fan. Always
been a Cowboys fan.
All right, so listen. We have definitely went over the time for sure. But you know what? This is why I love doing World Class Wednesdays, because this show is definitely dope. Shout out to King Zaire OG, Ian Rakelli, and everybody, Rocco Rakelli, that's been holding it down on Monday Night Madness. All right, you will see that same lineup until August, folks. Till August, you will see that same lineup. They are doing their thing over there. All right. Tomorrow, make sure you tune into Rise Up Unlimited, the radio show. I will have my guy down here with the Alpha shirt on the radio tomorrow evening. He didn't even know that, but I'm letting him know now. I will have him on the radio show tomorrow. This young man here in all red. Yeah, the one who's flexing his muscles. And I might even have these two over here on the right side of me as well, if I could get them both on the radio tomorrow, which would be phenomenal. All right. Make sure you stay tuned, buckled up for World Class Wednesdays, man. Every Wednesday, 8 o'clock. Tomorrow, 4:30 on your set. We will have the radio show, unless something comes up, and we might do it a little earlier. But nevertheless, I want to thank everybody for tuning in on YouTube, because we on YouTube right now too. I don't even know if folks know that, but we on YouTube too. We on YouTube and Facebook, and all you guys have been phenomenal and supporting. Continue to support positivity in 2021. Listen, Buck Flair, I know you've been around, baby. I know you've been around 6 years. The Buck Flair show. Shout out to Buck Flair too. A lot of good positivity, and that's what we want to do in 2021. We want to make this year and the next year different from last year.
Make your next move your best move. Make sure y'all turn into the Alphabets Football Show. We'll be back next month.
Oh, you heard it. They'll be back next month. Coming back. Rocco Raquelli, make sure that you watch the sports angle. This guy is always on the radio waves.
Entertainment capital of the world.
Yes.
There you go. You know it.
And King's Eye OG, who is very soon to be his own host of his own show. See how I'm pumping that? You see how I pump that in there?
It's gonna go down like prom dresses, baby.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna definitely continue to pump positivity. Yo, there is one last thing before I go. I want to shout out India Walton, who just became the new mayor of Buffalo. This is the first time we will have a African American female as the mayor of the city. So shout out to you. All right. And shout out to the frontline workers at UB here in Hall. I know y'all see it down there at the bottom. Shout out to y'all for everything that y'all have done. Over 120,000 plus getting people back to some normalcy. All right. You know who I am.
Happy birthday, Chocolate Girl. Happy birthday, Sharon.
Happy birthday
to Sharon too. Yes, happy birthday to Sharon as well. Shout out to her. Can't wait to have her come on and talk junk. I know it's coming. All right. And pray for David Allen too. I just want to put that out there. Rise Up Unlimited tomorrow. All right. WDAP radio and TV. Make sure you show your love. Give them a little prayer. All right. You know what it is. World Class Wednesdays. We are out the door. For Marcus Betts, Rocco Raquelli, King's ROG, and you know me. See y'all later.
Peace out.